Hi everyone. I didn't wave. Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene. I'm stressed out over the stupidest thing. I kind of woke up stressed because I went to bed stressed. I have some kind of a noise in my car, and I haven't figured it out yet because my way to deal with it is to ignore it. We know I have that whistling air conditioner sound, right? Now I have another sound that happens now and then. All right, I went to bed stressed because of the comments from my video last night about AA. I don't want to get into it, but you know, it's quite apparent that, you know, some people just can't see both sides to things. You know, there's just one way and that's it, and if you're not doing that, you're fucking evil. Or if you talk, meaning me, like if I talk about it like some people don't need AA, that I am being completely irresponsible with that message. You'd have to go watch that video. I stand by the things that I say because they're what worked or didn't work for me and for others too. If you look at the comments, there's a lot of people who agreed with what I said. They don't have to agree. And there's a lot of people who disagree. And they don't have to disagree. They don't have to be vocal about it, and they don't have to say that I'm causing the problem. I think people who don't have an open mind and who are not willing to see that not everybody is the same and certain things might not work the same for people. I don't know. Anyway, I went to bed very stressed out and I woke up stressed out. So, but I'm not turning comments off. Every time I say it stresses me out, I'll just turn them back off again. I don't know if you're saying it in that tone, but that's the tone I hear it. So there's that. And then I got up and I did some fabric for my bulk sales. And then I got packages ready and brought them to the post office. And when I was going out, Joe said, oh, can you pick up a drink? Because none of his cans of soda, he calls everything a Coke. His Cokes, even though he doesn't buy actual Coke, it's usually Diet Dr. Pepper or whatever. It's just not Coke. My husband too, he was from Texas, so I thought it was a Texas thing, but apparently it's a thing here too, that you just say, I want a Coke, and then you come out with root beer. That's a Coke. He didn't have any Cokes in the refrigerator. So he gives me a $5 bill because he knows I was going to the post office and he knew I wanted to record after. He says, when you know, are done, can you get me a Coke, a Diet Coke, drink? And he didn't say soda, he said drink. And so to me, I see the fountain. And I said, yeah, where do I get that? I'm not a fountain kind of person. I don't like to do anything like that. I know you guys think that all of a sudden I'm this social butterfly, but in a way I'm paralyzed still. I still don't like to go to the bank because I want to pass out at the thought of using an ATM. And I also want to pass out at the thought of having to go in the bank and be face to face with the teller. She's going to ask me how I am and stuff like that. So I said, where do I go? And he says, any gas station. And I'm like, yeah, of course. That's where those fountain drinks are. So I go to the post office and I wanted to record, and I found that I didn't have a card in my camera. Rocket. Quiet, baby. Quiet. Just lay down. Lay down. Want to come on, Mommy? Okay. And so I go in, and all I see is a whole long line of coffee. And I go up and down like a couple times because I said I'm just maybe blinded by nerves. And I don't know where the soda is. It's got to be here somewhere. And it wasn't. So I walked around to the other side of the store and I found the soda. And so I said, okay, I'll do Diet Dr. Pepper. The other choice was Zero Dr. Pepper and a Diet Pepsi. So I chose Diet Dr. Pepper, and I filled the cup about halfway, and then I happened to notice it looks pretty clear, and it was clear. So I thought, is this a weird clear Diet Dr. Pepper? So I tasted it. No, and it was just like the soda water. And so I show it to the woman up front. And she said, oh, she said, it must need, and she said whatever. And so she goes out back, and then she yells, which one is it? And I said, it's the Diet Dr. Pepper. And I said, I'll try 0 Dr. Pepper now, because she was taking quite a while. And I do the 0 Dr. Pepper, and it's the same thing, it's just clear. And I'm standing there, and I still have the headache that caused, the stress, the anxiety. I did not know what to do next. I wanted to be out of that store. I felt like I don't know how to do anything, and everything's going wrong simply because I brought that negative energy with me in the store. And a woman said, are they not working? And I said, well, those 2 aren't. And I told her, I mean, I just said it out loud. I didn't tell her because I thought she needed to know. I just said, I'm leaving. And I just put the cup down and I walked out the store. And then I tried to go to another gas station. And, well, you know what I mean, convenience store, I should call it. And I couldn't even bring myself to get out of the car. And I said, how do I explain this to Joe? So, of course, I just told him the truth. I explained everything that I just went through. And he's like, it's okay, it's okay. And he said, I just wanted a can, a 20-ounce can of, I didn't want the fountain drink. So I'm glad in the way that all got fucked up and I didn't come home with one. But I said, I always see you coming out with a fountain drink. And he said, that's only when I have the free Circle K drinks. I don't know, he buys like a ticket or whatever, and then he gets all the free, or 1 free per day of Circle K. I don't know. Such a bad headache over this. So I told him, I said, I'm going in my car, because I'm right in my apartment complex. I'm in my car. I'm not in front of my apartment. I had to move to where there was shade, and my usual shady spot isn't shady right now. So I'm here with the dog just because I want to be free to talk and sound like a complete idiot, hoping that Joe won't watch this. But if he does, he knows how I am in a lot of ways. And yeah, I still struggle greatly with things like that. And so I came home without a drink and gave him a warm Dr. Pepper. I was like, and I thought I'll give him ice, but my freezer is so filled that I had to take the ice out and turn the ice machine off just to fit everything, because we brought food from his freezer to my freezer. And I said, I can either go get you an ice cold drink in a can, or you can have something that's warm. And he opted for warm. Poor guy. But I'll survive these things, right? Right. He is very understanding. And I just, I wish there was some stories I could tell you just about how I still can flip out over things. I didn't really notice that because after my mother died, I was alone. So my world was exactly, the way I wanted it, and I didn't have to see something on the counter if I didn't want to. But all this now, having somebody else, and I understand that he's here, and I knew this was going to mean lots of stuff in my apartment. And if he is watching, I don't want you to think, Joe, that it means that I regret or that I don't want you here. I need to find ways to get through this. And he knows that. And, last night he was just amazing to me with helping me through just being like, how do I say it? I have like a meltdown that's like I can't function now, and it just was so good. I don't want to get into personal details, but we probably talked for, I don't know, an hour solid, and it was mostly him talking to me and calming me and saying things that made such good sense. and just being so completely understanding, and it just turned me around from a nervous wreck, out of control. My brain hurt from all the thinking I was doing, and it just calmed me down. And I don't know. I've never had anybody like that in my life, in person. So it's really good, and it's going to help me to change, because I quit drinking 20-something years ago, but I still had my mother that was still toxic and all that. I was able during that time to start to realize that it wasn't me all those years, that it was the fact that my mother was a narcissist. So I'm glad I had time to learn about that and start to understand that, but it still hurt. It hurt like fucking hell. And then when she died, I had this different dynamic now, that all of a sudden it's like I didn't know how to get through the day. It's not that I missed the toxicity and the fear and the constant fight or flight mode I was in. It's not that I missed that. I just didn't know how to get through a day without it, because that's really what I knew. And then I started this year to meet some men, go out with some men, and I was starting to be convinced that it was going to be a tough thing to find somebody who could put up with me, because that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm someone who has to be tolerated and put up with, and I'm learning, especially through Joe, that that's not the case, that I can be somebody would actually be interested in hanging out with and wanting and loving, because I was told all my life from my mother that no one would love me, they would only use me. So I think that's why I was able to stay with men who weren't awesome, because I figured that's as good as I can get, right? I'm lucky to have this. And I almost think that's why it hurt me more to lose them than it would hurt me to lose a nice guy. That doesn't sound like it makes sense, but I was, I think, more hurt, crushed, devastated, because I thought, if this person, who I know isn't good for me, isn't willing to hang on to me, then what the fuck am I supposed to do? How the fuck am I gonna find somebody if a drunk won't even hang out with me? But now I have myself a non-drunk who is very understanding and explains to me how it took him a long time of being sober before he started to even deal with his issues. And it's just all very hopeful to me, not just for my situation, but for mankind. I think that there are good people out there, and if you've been hurt a lot, but you would like someone in your life, I would say just keep looking, and keep just, getting better at saying quickly, this one's not my guy, and don't hang around just because you think you can't have somebody else. You can't settle. You gotta move on to the next one. You do. And it can be difficult. I didn't mean to talk about all this shit. I don't know. It's just because it was on my mind, and Joe really helped me last night. He was awesome about the soda. My inability to complete a very tiny task, and to tell him that I just felt like crying over it. It makes me want to cry now. We don't know when we see people walking around what they're capable of. If you see me in a club talking to friends, laughing, dancing, just having a really good time, that doesn't mean that I've got my shit together. I still don't know how to fucking pay a tab. I have only done it a couple times in my life because I've never been a restaurant eater. And then when I had, my husband, he would do it. And Derek still cracks up about it because he's like, Ma, I showed you. And I was like, I know, but I go fucking blank and I give the card. It's like, when do I sign something, and what do I keep, and what do I give? Do I just put it there? It makes me sick. So it's a good thing for me that all I want to drink is water, because I don't have to have a tab for that. I just tip them as they bring it to me. So that person who's dancing and acting like, I've got my shit together, talking to people and stuff, I'm not about to order something that's going to have a tab attached to it. I can't handle it. I even get nervous, like when Joe does. I'm like, is he gonna know how to do this? Does anybody know how to do this? I know Derek does, but I think the rest of the world has to be nervous like me. But no, most people know how to do that. So there's a lot of little things. Okay, I wanted to talk about Rocket, and this is what I did instead. Rocket, come here a sec. Let's tell the people about you, because everybody wants to know what kind of a dog you are. He is a miniature pinscher. Mini pinny. And if you look up miniature pinscher on Google, you will see a lot of dogs that look exactly like him. I mean, the markings, it's incredible how much they can look alike. And then everybody wants to know how old he is and how Joe got this dog. I'm assuming this is that I'm remembering everything he told me correctly. He was from a shelter, and something about he was going to be put down, and Joe said, I'll take him. And that was 11 years ago. So Joe has had Rocket for 11 years. And I don't know if Rocket was the name he came with or if Joe named him that, so I'll have to ask. And he's just the sweetest dog there is. He is afraid of men at the beginning. And Joe said even with him, he was a little bit vicious. But now, he's just a baby. He's just a baby with everybody. But with women, he's good right away. And he and I got attached immediately. And now I take him for walks. It's cooler weather, and I'm back to walking, and it gives me a reason to walk. And I got him a harness, and we just put it on during the day because I take him out often, and I just like him on a harness because he can slide right out of his collar. And if I need to tug him a little bit, I don't like to tug him at the neck. So he's got a Dollar Tree harness. I had to look up a YouTube video to figure out how to put this motherfucker on. It's impossible. But we finally figured it out with the help of YouTube. Yes, sweetie. And now he's so good. When he sees me take his harness, and I put it on the bed, and he just sits and he lets me put his two little paws in. And at first he didn't like to do that, but we kept trying, and now he just puts his two little paws in and he lets me hook him up, and then he knows we're going for a nice walk. Yeah. And he loves to sleep with us. He loves to sleep under the blankets. So whenever I make the bed, I have the blankets folded down so he can get under. And he's with us all the time. Almost every time we go, unless we would be going into a store for any length of time or whatever, then we won't take him. But we take him for all our rides, and he just loves to go out. He just loves it. Is there anything else I can tell you about Rocket? He's a boy. Okay, we got that. That's pretty much all I know. Huh, Rocket? Huh? All right, I guess I'm going to go now and edit this and upload it. And I'm just going to try to have a more relaxed day. I have to go at least empty one tub of stuff that's in the apartment. And little by little, that's getting done. I'm just nervous about a lot of things. It's a lot. There's been a lot going on with this move and the change, and just, things that we forgot to do, like change his address. We didn't even really have time. I mean, we talked about it for like a week, and then the next week we're like, all right, I guess we could rent a U-Haul. It was like just did it. We did it, and I'm glad that we just did it like that. Like, okay, rent something, and we're gonna do this and that and that, and that was it. It all got done. Oh, that's right. Joe might hook up the washer and dryer today. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'll be back with more soon. Please subscribe. Bye.